Hello all, we'll discuss the next topic of syntax-directed translation. These are the contents, evaluation orders of SDTs, that is dependency graph, then applications of SDT, construction of syntax trees and parse trees. Now syntax-directed definitions are evaluated by three concepts, that is dependency graph, S-attributed definitions and L-attributed definitions. Now here we'll learn about the dependency graph. So dependency graph is one of the tools to determine the order of computation of attributes. It is one of the techniques for evaluation of SDTs by using synthesized and inherited attributes. Now we need to learn construction of annotated parse tree. Then what is annotated parse tree? It is the parse tree which contains the value of attributes at each node for given input string, that is known as annotated or decorated parse tree. And this parse tree shows the values of attributes, and dependency graph is used to determine how these values can be computed. Dependency graph shows the interdependencies among the attributes of the various nodes of a parse tree. Consider if attribute B depends on an attribute C, then there is link or edge in graph from node C to node B. If dependency graph has an edge from M to N, then M must be evaluated before the attribute of N. There is one dependency rule, that is, if an attribute B depends on an attribute C, then we need to fire the semantic rule for C first and then the semantic rule for B. Then how to evaluate syntax-directed definitions? For each parse tree node, the parse tree has a node for each attribute associated with that node. If a semantic rule defines the value of synthesized attribute A dot B in terms of the value of X dot C, then the dependency graph has an edge from X dot C to A dot B. If a semantic rule defines the value of inherited attribute B dot C in terms of the value of X dot A, then the dependency graph has an edge from X dot C to B dot C. Then next topic is applications of SDT. There are various applications of syntax-directed translations. First is type checking. It may be while computing the values of the attributes. Then next is code generation. It is also used in intermediate code generation. Then construction of syntax trees. So this is very important. How to construct syntax trees? We will see. Then what is syntax tree? Syntax trees are also known as abstract syntax tree because they are abstract of the parse tree and they do not provide every characteristic information from the real syntax. That is, no grammar rule should be there at every node and no parenthesis should be there in parse tree. Abstract syntax trees are important data structures in a compiler. It contains the less amount of information. So that's why these abstract syntax trees are more compact as compared to parse tree. So it can be easily compiled as a compiler. Then what is parse tree and syntax tree? When we create a parse tree, then it contains more details than actually needed. So it is difficult as a compiler to parse the parse tree. In the parse tree, most of the leaf nodes are single child to their parent nodes. In the syntax tree, we can eliminate this extra information. Syntax tree is a variant of parse tree. In the syntax tree, interior nodes are operators and leaves are operands. We can differentiate parse tree and syntax tree. In parse tree is a graphical representation of the replacement process in a derivation. It means this derivation is formed by context-free grammar and parse trees are formed by this derivation. And syntax tree is the compact form of a parse tree, or it is abstract of parse tree. In parse tree, each interior node represents a grammar rule, each leaf node represents a terminal. It means parse trees are formed by grammar rule and terminal symbol. And syntax tree, each interior node represents an operator, each leaf node represents an operand. It means in syntax tree, only operator and operand should be there. In parse tree, they provide every characteristic information from the real syntax. In syntax trees, they do not provide every characteristic information from the real syntax. And parse trees are comparatively less dense than syntax trees, and syntax trees are comparatively more dense than parse trees. Now we'll see one example. Here context-free grammar is given. You have to construct annotated parse tree for the given string. So here string is given. You have to construct for computing the synthesized attributes. So here this context-free grammar is given with different production values. We have to construct the annotated parse tree for the given string. So here we need to construct the SDT. So SDT is given with semantic actions. It means for each production values we need to write the semantic action. So these are the semantic actions for each production value. Then we'll see how to construct annotated parse tree. So basically this string is given and grammar is given. We have to construct annotated parse tree. So parse tree is formed by derivation or any string with the help of some context-free grammar. And what is annotated parse tree? Annotated parse tree is parse tree which contains the values of attributes should be there at every node. So we initially will construct the parse tree, then we'll see how to calculate these all values. So while constructing any tree, we can start from starting variable. So here starting variable is s. Now for s only one production value is given. We can start from s. It gives e. So here dot value is the attribute value. So here s goes to e, that is e dot value. Then finally we have to construct the parse tree for these symbols. So here 3 digits are given and 2 operators are given. It means total 5 symbols are given. It means in your tree your last leaf node should be digit star digit plus digit. It means 5 leaf nodes should be there in your parse tree. So we can start step by step. So from this e, again one more production value is given, e1 plus t. Again second value is e gives t. 2 production values are given. We have to choose any one. So we can choose first value because we want plus here. So that's why we use here first production value of e, that is e dot val, that is e gives e plus t. So e dot val plus e dot val. Then after this e, we can choose the second value because again we want the star symbol. We get the star symbol by this production value. It means we use the t. So this e goes to next production value, that is t. And by t we use the t1 star f, that is t dot val star f dot val. Then by t only one value is given, that is f and f dot val. Then by f here we get the terminal symbol, that is digit. So we write here a digit dot lex val because this is the terminal symbol. Then from this side f dot val, by f again we want the terminal symbol, second terminal symbol. So we use here digit, that is digit dot lex val. And from this side by this t, again after plus only one digit is given. It means we want this digit by f. So we use t goes to f dot val, and f by f we write digit dot lex val. Then we'll calculate the values. So here in synthesize attributes, bottom up approach we use. We can start from left to right. So here attributes are given. We have to calculate the attribute values. We can start from the bottom, from left to right we go. So here at last digit dot lex val. So here we can use any digit value. We want 4, we use here a digit dot lex val equal to 4. Then we go back f dot val. So what is value of f dot val? So this is derived by f dot val. It means its value is same, that is 4. Again this is derived by t dot val. Its value is same. Then again go back. Do not consider the start. Again we go at end digit dot lex val. Your next symbol should be 5 digit. We consider here 5. Then go back again. So this is derived by f dot val. It means its value is again 5. It means f dot value equal to 5 and t dot value equal to 4. So we multiply t into f, that is 4 into 5 is 20. So we got the t dot value equal to 20. Again this is derived by e dot val, that is 20. Again go back, go at last symbol, that is digit dot lex val. So last value should be 6. We can use the digit 6 value. Then again go back. Again f dot value is same value. Again this is derived by t dot val, that is 6. It means t dot value equal to 6. So this is calculated by e plus t. So here e dot value is 20 plus t dot value equal to 6. 20 plus 6 gives 26. It means e dot value equal to 26. It means our answer is 26. So in this way, by using annotated parse tree, we can calculate the value. So values obtained from children nodes. It means bottom up approach we have to use in synthesize type. One more example here. Consider the grammar, context free grammar is given here. You have to generate or construct parse tree and syntax tree for the given string. So this is simple example how to construct parse tree. We can form the parse tree for id plus id star id. So here every information is given for each node, that is start from starting variable e gives e plus t, then e goes to t, t goes to f, f goes to id. So again this is constructed by context free grammar. Then while constructing syntax tree, so basically syntax tree is abstract of parse tree. It means at leaf node operand should be there and your interior node operator should be there. It means your string is id plus id star id. Only 5 symbol, last symbol should be there in your syntax. So this is about construction of syntax. So we have covered evaluation orders of syntax directed definitions and applications of syntax directed translations. Thank you. Keep watching the videos.